Hi, I'm Greg Hunter. This is the weekly news wrap-up for Friday, December 9th, 2016. Coming to you from a farm in Missouri. I want to talk about the drought situation that has spread out on the east coast of the United States, but still in California. Talk about the crops. Talk about that in just a minute. But I want to start off with this. And when I first saw this, I thought, oh, wow, Donald Trump, Person of the Year. Well, first of all, look closely here. You see the devil horns there? You see the devil horns they put over his head? Now, of course, Time Magazine says, oh, it's totally inadvertent. Oh, it's totally inadvertent. And then they go on to say, oh, we've had 90 magazine covers. Do you think if they put devil horns over Barack Obama's head or Hillary Clinton's head, do you think there wouldn't be an outrage? And also this, too, is like, Donald, can you read the headline here? Donald Trump, President of the Divided States of America. Yes, divided. I was thinking that, when Barack Obama got elected, that we'd have peace and harmony and better race relations. But no, not with, Black Lives Matter at the White House, not with Al Sharpton, 80 times at the White House, not with all the, the cop hating and the cops are stupid, which started out up in Boston. Remember that? The cops did something stupidly. They were acted stupidly. No, not that. Anyway, but this is the magazine cover. The only reason why Tom probably put it on the cover is because, well, they have to make some money. They're legacy media, but look at that, the devil horns. Can you imagine? And these are professional magazine people. This is what they do. This is their deal, Person of the Year. And they put devil horns on the top of Donald Trump. And I say, that's about par for the course. They're doubling down on their evil that got them spanked and causing them to lose money. And, for some reason, though, the subscriptions supposedly are up at the New York Times. I find that hard to believe. They have basically discredited themselves completely, I think. Especially with New York Times out when a few weeks ago, they set this thing out to their subscribers saying, well, we're going to do, without fear or favor journalism, but we cover the candidates fairly. That's like Baghdad Bob. The lying the information minister did in the Gulf War. Anyway, the other thing that the mainstream media is doing is basically they're going after this fake news. Well, actually, they're competitors. And actually, anybody that doesn't breathe the propagandist line, that doesn't, breed the ultra-left-wing liberal line, and anybody that offers a differing opinion is fake. Well, here, remember the Washington Post story where they had this, this prop or not group that nobody knew anything about? Of course, they're totally bogus. There's so many things in the story that wasn't even a story. There wasn't even journalism. I can't believe the Washington Post aired it. But here, let me tell you something. The Washington Post, if they printed it, it's like them doing it. This idea that, we printed somebody else's story. Let me tell you how journalism works, okay? If I went out and interviewed somebody, and I put a soundbite from somebody in a story, and it was false and totally false, and I didn't check it out, that was like me saying it, legally speaking. That's why at the networks, both CNN and at ABC, where I was a correspondent, we would transcribe all of our interviews before we would put a story on the air, and we'd send them to the lawyers and standards and make sure that, we didn't pull something out of context, which we didn't. And if we said something outrageous on the air, that somebody said something, that we better check it out. It better be true, because it's like them saying it. So the Washington Post putting this story up, this idea of these 200 fake news sites, which included Breitbart and Drudge Report and Zero Hedge and also Naked Capitalism. Well, I'll get to more of that. And let's look at the headline here. Washington Post pans Russian propaganda fake news story, admits, it may be fake. Oh, the fake news people, it may be fake. And you think maybe it's because maybe Naked Capitalism sent them a letter saying we're going to sue you for including us, and then listed all the outrageously shoddy things and untrue things they did? This is outrageous. Yeah, if you want to be real news, Washington Post, New York Times, maybe you should do a story on, hey, how did Building 7 fall straight down without being hit? Hey, why does the Federal Reserve have a trading desk that trades every commodity and interest rate and currency and stock under the sun? Why do they have a trading desk? Is it because they're manipulating the markets and that they're doing it in full tilt? This is an entity that can print money to infinity. Why do they have a a trading desk. Why is that? How did they did all these these people with all this naked short selling going on, and all these markets to where they drop and they go straight back up? That's like some sort of organic market, that there's not intervention involved. Could you do a story maybe on all the intervention and all the idea that we don't really have markets anymore? I mean, that's something that a lot of folks, important people that handle big money, are all saying. We don't have markets. That means they're intervening. Who is intervening? Maybe you could find that out. Being you're the truth media and you're not fake, instead of covering up and acting like this is going on. Another story that they're calling fake, Pizzagate. People have asked me, is this real? And I don't know if it's real. I don't have a big a stable of people I could send out and put on a story for weeks and go check it out and all that. But I'll tell you what I do know that's real. And none of the New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, BBC, none of them bring this up in the Pizzagate story. And that is, when you look for a story, you want to find the origin. It's kind of like doing a point of origin report for a fire. You want to find out where the story started. Where did this story start? Did somebody just invent this and all of a sudden come up with Comet Ping Pong Pizza, a place up in Washington, and said it's a satanic place where they do evil things to children, and it's a satanic, and it was and the Clintons are involved? Where did this come from? You think they would just do some reporting, and they all leave this part of the story out when they're saying, oh, this is fake news, oh, this is outrageous, oh, this is... Let me tell you where this story started. This is what I do know for a fact. It started from the Podesta emails that were leaked by WikiLeaks, 35,000 emails. Nobody has yet to come out and say, oh, all 35,000 of those Podesta emails are all fake. These are the emails that were leaked out by WikiLeaks. They're leaked out by them. The story originates with John Podesta talking about this kind of stuff and this pedophilia ring and this satanic stuff. This is him talking about it. So here's my idea that I should give to the mainstream media. Hey, act like you're a reporter and call up John Podesta and say, hey, we found these emails from the WikiLeaks, and you're talking about this crazy pedophilia satanic stuff in these emails with some other people. Could you explain that for us? But no, they don't even mention that. Now, is it true? I don't know, but one thing is for true. It's talked about in the Podesta emails, and the first person, if the mainstream media wants to act like they're the truth tellers, like they're the arbiters of truth, the first person they should call up is John Podesta. But nope, they don't even want to mention that. They don't even want to mention it, and they don't. And this is what we have in store for us for the next 4 years, probably 8 years with Donald Trump, is that the mainstream media, if it lasts that long, I don't know if it'll last that long, and that is that they are under attack. They're losing market share, they're losing mind share, they're losing credibility, and so what do? Come up with, it's the Russians, it's fake news. And what does the Washington Post come out? No, yeah, you know that story we printed? Yeah, it's fake. We admit it may be fake. Yeah, they're done. I think they're done. It's embarrassing. Everybody ought to be fired for that. Everybody should be fired for that. Next up, I want to talk to you about, I got Mannarino coming up. And he thinks, hey, listen, we could have a big correction. But he does think there's been a big change in mindset and a big change in direction for the country. And he'll talk about it. It's kind of invigorating. He does come with some caveats and some warnings. But he thinks that Donald Trump being elected president is a game changer. But one thing that hasn't changed is the stock market. And just to let you know, this right here is 1929. This is the P ratio of 1929. This is the Shiller PE ratio. And this is what happened in 2000. Remember the Crazyville with what do you call it? The .com bubble over here. And then, but here is 2008. Okay, let me get over here. Here's 2008. That's the PE ratio of 27, 2008. And here we are now, 2016. Okay. And this is, again, the PE ratio of 27. And what happens every time there's a big spike in PE ratio? Boom! Big spike in PE ratio. Boom! Back in 29, back here, big spike in PE ratio. Boom! Well, let me tell you something. That's not just a short amount of time there. That's decades before this thing comes back. And this thing crashed in 29, and we eerily have the same thing. This is the dot-com bubble. Of course, the hallmark of dot-com was Crazyville, EBITDA and earnings that weren't earnings and cash flow and whatever. This is 2008. That's 27. This is now, that's about a 27, 28 PE ratio. So even Catherine Austin Fitts says, hey, look out. We're looking for a correction in the markets. And she's talking 25%. Other people are talking much higher corrections than that. And so look out, this Nirvana. I mean, listen, if you be careful what you wish for. If we do get a big rally and a big economy gets going, it gets turbocharged, they'll raise interest rates, and then we have all this debt, 20 trillion, and then there's a lot of bad things can happen. I mean, when things start moving, things can go really terribly wrong too. We have all this debt. How is it going to get paid? And how is it going to get paid at a higher interest rate? And what happens to all the people who own these bonds at the low interest rate? There's going to be a lot of pain, folks. I'm happy. I'm very happy Donald Trump is here. I mean, anybody, a candidate that says there are limits to the Second Amendment and limits to the First Amendment, and that's what Hillary Rodham Clinton said on camera, I heard her say it, is not presidential material. And so that's all there's to it. I'm here on a farm in Missouri. And I'll tell you, economy's good here. Good crops this year. Winter wheat is up about that high. It's cold, but the economy's good here. And why? It's a farming community. And, that's basically kind of a manufacturing project. Farming is like manufacturing. They actually sell something, exports. And so the economy is pretty good. People are buying equipment. Houses are going up. Things look pretty good. But the one thing that is happening, in the country is this drought, and droughts are still going on. Now, let me start with California. California still, there's some major problems in California drought-wise over here. It's subsided in the west some. Actually, there's one little part of the northwest corner of California that's now under drought, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. But one thing I wanted to tell you about is bring you over here to the East Coast, and to the southeast. And boy, we're talking some real drought going on in the epicenter is Georgia. And that is just as bad, just almost as nasty as California. And it's kind of come up into North Carolina, and it's a pretty decent drought, and we need some rain to knock that out. But long and short of it is the drought situation's gotten a little better in California, but it's really moved over here to the southeast, and that is trouble, folks. That's always trouble. Lack of water. You can't live without water. That's the way I see it. I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you for your donations and your comments. That's the most important thing. Really appreciate it. And remember, fear not. Fear not, folks. God the Father is in charge. Prepare yourself mentally, physically, and above all, spiritually. As I said, God the Father is in charge. Thank you for supporting USAWatchdog.com.